down low. The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67 though of Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Bertiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down in the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Go into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length as the one gets up into the wall with a run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Welsh made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag. So here we go, final lap. Hello and welcome everybody into some Friday night racing action where we're here under the lights in Bristol, Tennessee, taking on the fantastic, tricky gladiatorial arena where thankfully they got all the dirt uncovered and we're ready to go back and race here on the asphalt in this late model series here, brought to you by the NTRL. Who's gonna come out on top and who's gonna go away on a stretcher? Man, we're just gonna have to sit here and wait and find out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get things all started on off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome back. As always, we have to say a huge thank you to the fantastic supporters here of the NTRL, such as Sim Gear Central, all joining us down there with their fancy button boxes. Thank you guys for jumping on board this season. If you're looking for a button box, head on over to simgearcentral.com to get one that's got all the flips, dials, switch knobs, whatever have you to exuberate your sim experience. Thank you to Sim Gear Central. Also, big thank you to Track Bar Media, fantastic photo and video edits of real life and sim life racing. Go ahead and check them out over there at trackbarmedia.com. Big thank you as well to Martin Sports. I think they're going to be providing some form of trophy, not necessarily in this part of the NTRL, but some of their other ones. So be sure to go and check them on out for their fantastic support, especially with some of their race gear and all their other stuff that they got on there that you can all get personalized. So big thank you to Martin Sports. As well as a huge thank you to Davidson Builders, the premier custom builders up there in that northern New Jersey area. Be sure to head on over there and check them out if you're looking to maybe do a whole remodel, putting on addition or something, or maybe you just want to change out that kitchen sink. Well, man, give Davidson Builders a call and let the professionals do it for you there. So big thank you to Davidson Builders, and of course, big thank you to DEP Graphics. Some fantastic iRacing paint schemes being had over there, and man, they just keep getting better and better. Go ahead and get one personalized for you today over at DEP Graphics. And with that, also, we like to say, welcome in. I'm Alan Brown, and as always, I am joined by one fella. We're missing a fella. His power got knocked out, got some storms rolling through, kind of in that west to mid-south area, so I hope everyone's staying alive down there and staying safe. If you guys get one of those NATO warnings, just hunker down. Don't do the thing that we would do, which is grab a motorcycle helmet and go stand out in the middle of the street to watch it go flying by. But either way, I am still at least joined by our good friend, Mr. Adam Turner, sitting outside of Papa Joe's, getting those $2 beers, man. Adam, welcome back to Bristol. This time, not on the dirt side. The last time we came here, we saw a great race with the trucks taking on the dirt. Tonight, we go back to the asphalt and what should be a fantastic mashup. As these late models, man, I think they're gonna fit here just right.
Oh, it's going to be perfect. I love this track, and I love this car model. I mean, we've had a lot of fun watching the late model stock. I am in front of Papa Joe's. They're 250 beers now. They didn't, this inflation thing they're doing to us. But let's talk about our friend, our comrade, Alan English. Prayers got to him. That's a real thing. His power did go out, and a tree hit his house. So he's probably sitting there with warm beer and the generator that has a fan every intermittently. So wish he was here. Hope he gets everything fixed. I know everybody was affected there in at Louisiana, northeast Louisiana, got kind of hit hard last night. We got hit hard here on the Red River last night too, so I kind of feel his pain as well. But we must persevere and go on. We're racing tonight, even if English is here or not. So I'm going to be the real smart aleck tonight for you, Brown. Just me. No English. Wish he was here, though. Yeah, interesting race. 2 fast repairs tonight, Brown. 80% fuel. 2 sets of tires. 25 instant points. You'll get a penalty. And 30 will be disqualified. It's going to be some heat racing, and we're not quite sure how that's going to line up just yet, are we, Brown?
Nah, not quite yet. I think they're still trying to get things all ironed on out in that aspect of things as we get ready to head on to that first green flag eventually. Currently in the middle of that practice session, or qualifying session, I should say, right now. But taking a look at tonight's race info, this half-mile track gonna be a daunting challenge for these drivers, making sure that they're able to put the power down nice and smooth. That's going to be very important here tonight, but otherwise, they're not experiencing any weather out here in the virtual land of iRacing. These drivers have a fantastic track here tonight, bringing us down to tonight's key to the race. And man, I just looking here after practice and after qualifying, I'm looking at these upper parts of these corners, man. You gotta keep it on that low side. Do not get into those marbles, because that is just going to absolutely ruin your race. And at a track that's very unforgiving, where you got walls all over the place and really no safety zones, it could definitely cost you.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're already in practice. I see those marbles on my terrible screen with my terrible monitor and resolution on my computer. You can still see those marbles up there. I guess we're going to have to deal with them. That will make it slippery up top. This track is super fast. I mean, look at these guys. You're ripping around here at 120 in the straights, 110 roughly in the corners. That is fast for a super short track like this. That's why I love Bristol. The banking is amazing. It's nighttime. What do they call it? Thunder Valley or something? I don't know what the hell it is, but it's pretty awesome. I'd like to go here in person one time.
Yeah, but it was a couple years ago, even though NASCAR has still been declining, we were looking at maybe doing like a group meetup at something like this, and maybe you can get a box for like 15 people for like $1,000 for the weekend, which ain't that bad at all.
Not if you have the people, or like the backing. Maybe we'll get like a AAA sponsorship. We'll just all meet up down there and have a big grand time.
Yeah, no, that'd be fancy. I mean, I'd be down to see a race here. I don't know if I'd want to watch a full NASCAR race. I think it would get a little boring at some point, but
well, I mean, come on, Brown. I mean,
well, they took away you're not allowed to do the Chastain thing anymore. You can't ride the outside wall and just pin it. So I mean, what do we have to look forward to?
I do not like rules. You know this, so I'm with you on this. But it's tight racing. Maybe we'll see somebody fight, or you're definitely going to see somebody fight if you walk around in the grandstands or whatever. I mean, they'll be sipping moonshine out in the parking lot. People are going to get crazy. So we'll at least get to people watch, nonetheless, right?
Yeah, no, that's always fun too. People watching. That's what I like to do. Whenever I go to Vegas, like I slow play my bet, so I'm sitting at the table for hours, but I'm really only playing with like $30-$40. Keeping it low key, but just watch people going around. People watch. I love doing that.
Yeah, Vegas is notorious for that. I do the same. But I also do like to gamble too, so I get my own element sometimes.
Yeah, but you're more of the dice man. You love them.
Yeah, I love shooting dice. I tell you what, I don't know what it is about shooting dice, but like shooting dice here in Waco at Papa Joe's, that's a thing. It's just kind of like one of my things I like to do. And here they go. I guess we're gonna have a little heat.
And it looks like we're actually gonna have a few heats here tonight, which is absolutely fantastic. So basically, the qualifying separated these fields down into a couple different groupings, and we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see everybody figure things on out. Just trying to get to a camera where we can see everybody here. There we go. Kind of down on the line on the French stretch. So let's go ahead and see our first official grid here for heat number 1. Gonna be Ben Tracy starting up at the front with the one of DW, Derek Welsh to his outside, Justin Morrow, Josh Kelleher, and Tristan Cotton making up your top 5 here, getting all lined up. Chris Klein, as well as Daniel Baker, Andy Sizemore, the Iceman, and the 26 machine. And it looks like Matt Layton got called into work here late. So this will be a 8-car heat that's going to be going live here.
Oh, isn't that cool? I think this is just like your Friday night or Saturday night, really, over here where I'm at. Saturday night at the races. Really cool, little 15-lap shootout here. See who gets placed in the feature. I think it's saying the top 6. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. We may have all of them. I don't know, but still kind of fun.
Yeah, it definitely will be. And these heats are only about 15 laps. And with these lap times in the 15-second mark, I mean, this is only about 3 or 4 minutes of racing before we see the next heat. So we're going to get to see a lot of groupings done in here. Oh man, I thought the 33 for a second there had a blue light bar, but it was just the light shining off that back spoiler. Got me confused there for a quick second as everybody gets all lined up and ready to go. Lights on the pace car are off. Coming in this next time around, got people joining us over there. Matt Layton, sorry you had to go to work there, buddy, but he's saying good luck to Tom, Tate, and Tristan. Go get them, boys. Tristan Cotton saying he wishes he was here. I also got Dana Poachlog saying, looks like Turner's hiding from the government with that backdrop. Yeah, man, he's always hiding from the government. That's really not a secret. And then Tommy Welsh, he says that he went to the playoff race where Elliott blocked Harvick for Larson. It's an amazing venue. Man, that would definitely be something interesting to watch as the pace car dives on down into this tricky pit road, and we go to the green flag here in heat number 1. Side by side goes Tracy and DW. It looks like the 33 machine on that bottom line getting a good run out of the corner. Currently back here kind of towards the mid-back, you got Josh Morrow, Chris Klein going side by side here as well. Oh, getting a little slipping and slidey there for the 46 machine, but he's able to lock it back down, still hanging on to that bottom line. Top 6 automatically go through to the feature race. So we're going to have 2 people not quite make it here tonight.
Well, that's fun. You get to go home if you're one of the last 2. Look, these cars are so low to the ground, you can see the sparks flying off the bottom of them. It's pretty neat when they hit those corners.
And Chris Klein trying to chase down the 73 Josh Kelleher. A couple laps already in the books as these drivers continue to make their way here under the green flag. Keeping it kind of single file, though, other than where the 46 and the 26 continuing to trade spots. Sitting right behind them, though, is the 7 of Tristan Cotton, trying to hope that one of these guys makes a mistake so he can get a freebie position. Oh, as Chris Klein, he gets turtled, and we're going to have a caution here in this...
Wow.
In this first heat. Yeah, Chris Klein having an issue. Let's go ahead and watch what happened here between these 2 drivers. Oh, the 51 and the 73 going for a wild spin. And then Keller going upside down onto the roof, getting toppled himself as the 26 machine. Oh, goodness gracious. 90 having gotten beat up in it as well.
Well, that might have even knocked my iRacing off the rocker there. I lost connection to iRacing. Probably because of that caution, but I'm trying to join back in. I can keep up with you as much as I can here on the YouTube, but look at that. That's our first incident of the night.
That it is. Again, you'll probably see names going up and down this leaderboard. I believe the caution laps do not count in these heats. So things just kind of have to get re-racked and stacked. So don't worry, Turner. You're not going to miss out on a whole too much.
Well, good. I don't want to miss anything. I can still watch on the great YouTube machine. Club Penguin says, go Tristan. I know Tristan was trying to get into one of those positions to move on. He's still going to have a shot at it, I believe, as we set this thing back up to go.
That indeed is. Lights on that pace car about ready to get turned off, and we get ready to head on back to the green flag.
Man, I'm back with you, so let's do this thing.
Oh, perfect. Wait, that was quick.
Yeah, well, I used the UI this time, or maybe it's something about it. I don't know. But my paints aren't loaded. I got to get those paints loaded in. I love these cool paint schemes these guys have tonight. Everybody's got something different.
Yeah, you got Tracy Cotton over there saying, woohoo, Friday night. Let's go, Trister. Cheering on Tristan Cotton in that 7. Currently, well, I believe he's currently being scored in 6, so he is in that transfer spot, but we still have to go back to the green flag and race this one out to get our official people heading on through.
Yeah, it does get confusing for us up in the broadcast booth sometimes with this type of racing, heat racing, but we're going to just bear with us. We'll have it figured out by the end of the thing.
Are you getting more storms there now there, Turner?
No? Right now it's
Okay.
sunny. Yeah, we're good right now.
All right. Well, here we go. Green flag is back out. 33, Ben Tracy out with a solid start. The 1 of DW there as well, slipping right back down into position. You got the 46 and the 26. Morrow and Sizemore having a pretty good little beef battle here going. Looks like the 26 trying to line up that 46 down on that bottom side. Not quite able to get the run there in the corner. Daniel Baker trying to chase these guys on down, and there in 7th is the 7 trying to catch on up to that 90 to pick up that last transfer spot. Josh Kelleher just finally being able to come back down out of the pits. He's a couple laps down. It's going to take him a minute to get those back. Possibly will need another caution if he wants a chance here as the 90 machine catches on up with the 51, and we're going side by side. Oh man, it's gonna be close.
Yeah, they're really getting after it right here, and they should be, because this is for a transfer position. Tristan is putting the pedal to the metal and trying to catch these guys in front of him.
And Chris Klein able to stay out in front of all this chaos. Meanwhile, right behind him, 26, the 90, and the 7 continuing to have a great battle going on.
That's the most important battle right there. Man, 26 is loose.
Ooh, 26. I think he had some help. And then 7 and the 90 also got loose at the same time. That's going to bring out the yellow flag.
And Tristan was trying to avoid that and unfortunately tagged the 90. There was nothing intentional about any of that. That just happened. Boy, if they could have got around him, they would have set themselves up real nicely.
Let's go ahead and head on up to our chopper camera to see kind of what happened. Looks like the 7 machine just getting into the back of the 26, just a smidge, but then the 26 started losing it by himself, maybe carrying a little extra speed, and the 7 trying to avoid the contact there, drifts up the track and just clips the back quarter panel there of the 90, sending them both on around.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how quick things can change? 7, Tristan Cotton did take the blame for that crash. Look at those marbles just growing up top. That is going to be brutal by the end of this thing.
I was going to say, there's going to be more rubber than concrete out there.
I'm telling you, and it does make those cars real loose. Well, that's fine. That's how it is at the local track. They don't have the money to clean that up. We will keep going on. Tristan's showing to be in 5th on my screen. I don't know.
I got him shown in 6th right now. But again, it's gonna take a minute for everybody to get all re-racked, stacked up properly, and then we'll really know what's going on.
Man. I don't know. I like the sound of these cars too. They sound like race cars. They look like race cars. It's been a fun little series here with the late model stock guys. We've never broadcast late model stock. We're having fun doing so here at Numb Thumbs Racing League. Well, since the pace car he's still got his lights on, right?
Yep. So we still got to go around at least once more.
I'm going to give my personal plug as AAA Broadcasting sponsor. Facebook.com/GC Cruise Travel. That's George Charles Cruise Travel. Cruises, vacations, wherever you want to go. It doesn't matter where you're at in the United States. I think he probably even works in Canada. Check him out. He can help you get the vacation you want and get it at a price you want. I know you use this guy too. Good. It's a good. He's good on those cruises for sure.
Oh man, he's absolutely fantastic, and eventually as a real life sponsor, can't wait to have him on board.
Eventually, but right now we're helping him out because he helps us out a bunch. And he's our AAA friend of the broadcast.
Yes, sir. Indeed. As the lights on that pace car turn on off, and we get ready to head back to Green Flag Racing here. Everybody getting all lined up and stacked back on up. As Jay Kurt 69 saying Josh out here repping his company, so he's definitely rooting on for the Kelleher machine as Ben Tracy takes the lead here once again in this heat. Great battle here in the mid group with the 46 trying to chase down that 51 of Chris Klein. Oh, the 90 getting a little bobbly there as they come back down across the line and fighting for that ever more important sixth and final spot, you got the 26 of Sizemore currently holding that. Oh, almost tagging that 90 machine of Daniel Baker between himself and Josh Kelleher trying to catch on up here. Kelleher hoping for at least one more caution. Will he get it? Oh, it's just a matter of due time here as the 33 and the 1 head on down through turns 3 and 4, coming back down across the line. White flag is waving, so here we go. This will be it for this heat, no matter what happens, as DW tries to line up that 33 machine, trying to win this heat down through turns 3 and 4 again. Oh, and the 33 goes around. The 1 gets involved in it as well, so it's going to be Chris Klein, followed by Justin Morrow, excuse me. Then Tristan Cotton finds his way through. Same thing with the 26 machine and the 90. Did DW make it back down across the line in time to make it through? I believe he did.
That was interesting, wasn't it? We're not going to get to watch it. I'm not. Wow.
Oof, man, oh man, that was definitely an interesting finish to say the least, but here's the good news. We get to re-rack and stack it up all over again here with heat number 2 getting underway here. Let's go ahead and show everybody where maybe their favorite drivers racing in this one. We're going to start things off with Nicholas Coate up at the front. The 76 of Patrick Mahaney starting to his outside in second. The 20 of the X-Man, Justin Lawson, starting here tonight in third. Fourth will be the 329 Albert Anderson. He knows how these things work out. He's done this in real life. Heck, I think he's even got stories here at Bristol that can't be repeated on the radio. The 5 of Scott Milner has a pretty good starting spot there in fifth. Currently holding on to the sixth and final transfer spot. The 3 of Tate Cawthorn in the 3 machine starting there in sixth, with 00 Joe Bennett starting there in seventh. Tyler St. Pierre and Dave Holmberg are in this heat as well, but it looks like they will both be starting from the pits as the pace car starts pulling away here.
Man, that was a crazy first heat. I don't know what the hell happened there. Derek Welch was up in the lead and somehow ended up in, I think, last place there. I don't know.
Well, Rob Tracy didn't even make it into the sixth spot, and he was leading that entire heat till that accident there on the final lap, and so he's going to have to race his way in. I think everybody's going to end up actually getting their way in here.
Okay, so they're most likely they're all going to get in here, and unless something crazy happens. I think they're doing a lot of testing here in Num Tums. This is a definite test to see what, the future of different leagues. So,
Jake Hurt saying Sizemore is the guy he's talking about, not Josh. He's getting his cars all mixed up. Hey, that's all right. We get it mixed up all the time, man.
Yeah, we're like notorious at that, especially when English is here. We wish English was here. A tree hit his house. Luckily, everybody's safe. The power is out, though, and he's having to drink warm beer. We may have to send him some kind of love or something, money. I don't know. Well, we need to do something do a fundraiser for him. Here we go.
Here we go with that pace car diving on down into pit lane. 7 drivers out here on the track with the green flag waving. 35 Coate out in front. 20 Lawson trying to chase him down. Excuse me. Oh. I got my Justins all mixed up. 20 is not the X-Man. It's a different Justin Johnson who is thinking is the X-Man. I'm getting my names all mixed up here too. 39 Albert Anderson hanging around here in fourth. He knows it doesn't take all that much to make it on through. Justin don't finish last here as the 3 of Tate Cawthorn tries to chase him on down. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahaney and Justin Lawson continue to have a good fight. Nicholas Coate breaking on out to a quick and early lead. The 07 of Tyler St. Pierre, after starting from the pits, he's only going to be a couple laps down here. He's trying to get up to speed and get things all rolling here. He's going to be hoping for a caution so he can get that couple of those laps back. Meanwhile, the action continues to roll on here. A great field happening right now, though. 00 Joe Bennett in that 7th spot, trying to hunt down that 31 of Scott Milner to take over 6th.
Yeah, that's a good little battle. And this is just like your Saturday night at the track. Basically, in these heat races, you want to not damage the car. You want to keep it ready to go for the finale of the night. And it costs a lot of money to run these cars in real life, so they definitely keep it fairly clean for the most part in the heat races, and that's what we're seeing here. Hopefully, everybody transfers, but if not, we're going to see some interesting stuff. People will be on the sidelines at the end of this thing.
Yeah, as in the meantime, 31 Scott Milner definitely showing that those cars are very difficult to drive here, having to save it from that loose condition. Meanwhile, Lawson continuing to lead over Mahaney. Mahaney trying to pick up a good run, but not quite able to make the pass there. Meanwhile, 31 in the double O also have caught up to the 3 machine. Oh, and a little bump to the rear quarter panel there from Double O Joe to the 31. I think he was just coming off the corner with a little bit excess of speed, and that's going to check him on up. He's going to have to build up that momentum again, but we're only going to have 6 laps to go.
Goes by so quick, and you call it so eloquently, Brown. I don't know how you. I remember when we did like a dirt race one time at one of our first races, and it was like boom, boom, boom. You're good at this stuff.
Well, I gotta, I'm waiting for NBC to give me the call and be like, hey, you're doing the Kentucky Derby. I gotta keep.
That's what you want.
I gotta keep into the practice, man. Meanwhile, up here at the front, they're slowly chasing down the 35 Nicholas Coate here, trying to pick up the win in this heat. 4 laps left remaining, 20 in the 76. Pretty much securely in their spot. Same thing with the 329 Albert Anderson. He's really not catching the group in front of him, but he's leaving the group behind him here, as he's just got that open air. He knows what he has to do. Solidly in that 4th spot. He's looking like he's going to make it through that transfer, as well as DW say, man, I feel so bad for taking out Ben Tracy there. DW is definitely not one to do anything like that on purpose. Or so we think. Oh man, Double O Joe putting the burners on here with only a couple laps to go. Looking to the inside. We're going side by side between the Double O and the 31. A little bit of contact there, as well as the white flag waves. Here we go. Final lap. Still beating and banging as Double O tries to get that position away from the 31. And he does. Will the 31 and Milner come back with any vengeance? No, sirree. He will not. Coate, though, wins this heat, followed by Lawson, Mahaney, Anderson, Cawthorn, and Bennett. Milner and Tyler St. Pierre just missing out. They will be racing. If it goes, I think they will automatically end up getting transferred anyway, just due to the number of available spots. But they will be racing in that consolation race for a possibility to get up there into the main feature.
Either way, this is the best part about the transfer spots and this heat racing is to watch the back of the field. Instead of watching the front of the field like we normally do, we get to watch kind of the back of the field, and it makes it almost even more fun back here. See who's going to push their way forward and into the feature. Look at Brian Doty out there. I don't know if you're seeing what I see in his paint scheme. The fastest chicken in the South, the Clyde Torkel Chicken Pit Special. Hopefully you get to see that. I don't know if I'm on the same the trading paints as you.
All right, we'll just have to take a look here. Meanwhile, we're going to have Tommy Welch in the 9 machine, well as Paul Durkee in the 13, starting up at the front. The 21 Tom Wilson starting there in 3rd, with the 89 of Mike Adamson starting there in 4th. 5th will be Brandon Coleman with Tom Barish in the double nickel starting there in 6th. Brian Doty racing the fastest chicken in the South, 23 machine in 7th. And Charlie Herkis is going to be rounding out this field there in 8th in the 83 machine. Didn't we?
Fast chicken in the South.
Weren't we calling that like Manny Valdez or whoever it was over there at the time? It was M-Dot.
Oh,
or whatever
yeah,
it
we
was.
did. We sure, because he worked at Zaxby's, and we came up with that. Remember, he had gotten a job, his first job, because he was like 12 or something. And he worked at Zaxby's, so we were calling him the fastest chicken in the South. And he was pretty good at driving. He was just kind of a, 15-year-old punk.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no, he was a good driver. He irritated people. Let's put it that way. I didn't have any problems with the kid. He was kind of funny.
And meanwhile, pace car comes on down and in, and we go to the green flag for the first time here tonight. They're going to be looking at that restart, I think. I think the 13 maybe jumped a gun just a little bit, but nonetheless, we are underway here in this third and final heat. 13 trying to stay out in front of the 89 as the 89 begins a run in. The 21 going around Tom Wilson. He's going to be backwards on the track. Oh, and he does get into Doty there kind of towards the tail end of it. But thankfully, it looks like everyone's able to drive away from it A-OK.
Well, a little early crash. Brandon Coleman is claiming responsibility. So he said he'll take an EOL.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of the old bumpers being kind of welded together there with a pretty decent size hit to the rear end, and yeah, sending that to 29 around.
Yeah. Well, this is our third heat and final heat. We won't have the fourth. That one's going to be skipped. So after this, we'll have a little bit of a warm-up. I think they'll do a little warm-up lap, few laps, and be on to the main event, which is going to be the big party at Bristol. God save the Queen. I said that out of context for a reason. If anybody pays attention to current events, they might get a chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, that's way out of context. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it happened, and I'm just mocking a certain individual that is, works for the government. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
maybe some people out there might understand. I don't know.
Are you talking about an individual whose name is like a fancy toilet piece? Bidet?
Yes, very similar to that. Oh man, I had a hell of a day.
Have you ever? Speaking of though, have you ever used a toilet that's got a bidet? It's weird. It's something if you're not when you're not used to it, it is an odd feeling.
It is America here. We don't really tend to use that because our forefathers, we had outhouses and whatnot. We don't have the fanciness of Europe. We don't need all that fancy stuff. But I'm sure it is weird. It seems weird as an American. But I mean, I guess since we're going to one world government, I mean, I guess they'll all be installed in the new homes in the recent future. Back to you, Brown.
Yep. And back to you, English. Oh, wait. Meanwhile, speaking of back to it, we're going back to the green flag racing as the pace car comes on down into pit lane. Back to that green flag. 89 out in front. 13 to Paul Durkee trying to get a run back on that bottom side, which he does. That was a great run down there. Now here comes the double nickel and the 9 machine shuffling their way on through. Ooh, man, Mike Adamson. I don't know if he's just caught up in those marbles, but he's falling back like he threw out an extra parachute or something as the 23 and the 8 make it on through. Same thing now with the 21 of Tom Wilson as the 55 is getting all beaten battered.
Lots of stuff right there just happened. I can't understand most of it, but Brian Doty made his way through all the commotion there.
Oh, I think the 55 may not have gotten the call in time, and then the 8 machine was having his own issues there, racing alongside the 17, which is supposed to be the 23.
Of course.
Add him to the list.
Here we go. Put him on the list. That's fine. Somebody's got to fist fight somebody by the end of this night. So this seems like the heat that's going to make it happen here.
It's definitely a possibility.
They're getting a little feisty. We're only on lap, what is it, 4 or 5 out of 15? Come on. Save all that fighting for the end of this thing. Yeah, I'm really feeling bad for old Alan English right now. As much as I make fun of him and talk a lot of smack about him, he's got warm beer he's having to drink right now. A tree hit his home. I mean, that's not good. But everybody's safe and fine. That's good, though. But drinking warm beer, no power? How do you think he's surviving on that warm beer?
Knowing him though, because he's a member of that redneck ingenuity team. Like he's got that.
Oh, he's got that down, doesn't he?
Like if he had if he could be a professor of engineering at college, right? Like it would. He's got that redneck knowledge, right?
Yeah,
he's probably rigged something up for that French bulldog of his to run on some hamster wheel looking thing to generate just enough electricity to run that keg cooler that he's got there, because the rest of his food, whatever, it doesn't need to be refrigerated. Just cook it all up and have a big feast. But that beer though, that cannot go bag, and so poor Deuce. Hopefully he's taking his federal 15s in there as well.
I would hope so. Well, now put that dog to use. That dog don't do nothing but lay around the house. He's a lazy dog. I've seen him. I've talked to him about that dog. That dog needs to get to work. Maybe get that hamster wheel rolling and keep that keg cold. So I like that idea.
That's, like I said, that's the whole redneck ingenuity that English would have going for him here as we get back to the green flag racing. 13 and 17 starting things off side by side. Right behind them is the 21 and the 83. Ooh, a little bit of a blink there for the 9 machine racing the Menards, Mr. Tommy Welsh, as he's coming up with a big run on the outside. Man, the 83 going very slow down there on the bottom. It looks like he's got some damage up on that right quarter panel, and that might be causing him some issues. Here comes that 55 of Tom Barish. Just squeezing on by now. Here comes the 89 of Mike Adamson as well. So Herkus losing a couple of spots, and he's now in that out position here for that transfer.
Is he have damage? Because he's driving the thing like he's had a couple cocktails. That thing's moving all up and down the track there. Yeah, it sure does. It looks like that wheel's canted in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would same thing with the 8 of Coleman. That thing has seen a few bumps and bruises. Meanwhile, up here, kind of in the middle to the front. Oh, there goes Tom. Oh, what a save, Tom Wilson. A little bump there from the 9 machine, getting that 21 loose. Everybody all getting checked on up for it. But the 21 machine saving it. And here comes Mike Adamson. Talk about champ to chump, chump to champ. Starting to make his way back up through this field. He takes over that 3rd spot. Tom Wilson and Tom Welch still hanging on. Brandon Coleman having a good fight here with the 55 of Tom Barish. As Barish in that 7th spot now, going toe-to-toe with the 8 machine, trying to get that 6th spot back.
Yeah, it looks like Coleman made the run, got past him there. I'll tell you that Menards, is that Tommy Welch in that Menards car? I love that paint scheme. That's a standard at your local Midwest dirt track, I imagine. I've never been to a Menards, but I hear amazing things. I'd love to go up, head north and find one.
Yeah, but it's a Midwest north. You can't come up north like where I'm at here in New Hampshire. We don't have Menards.
Well, that's north to me. I just go due north, like, you know what I mean?
Direct north.
I go straight north. I'm going to be in Winnipeg, and I'll be with the Canadians up there in Winnipeg. I always want to just go straight north, Sure, I'd run into a Menards along the way.
Oh, I'm sure you'd run into at least a couple. I'd imagine it's probably like the Dunkin' Donuts up here in New England, as we got 2 laps left to go. 13 of Paul Durkee. He's just absolutely way out in front, so he's probably going to pick up the win here unless something catastrophic happens. Meanwhile, the 9 and the 21 continue to have a great battle, but the 55 is starting to run out of time here. Final lap in this final heat. trying to chase down that 8 of Brandon Coleman, but he's maybe just a little bit too far out of reach. And here we go, back down and across the line goes that 13 of Paul Durkee, winning the stage/heat. The 23 followed by the 89, 21, 9, and the 8 are in your top 6. 55 Tom Barish and the 83 Charlie Herkis missing out on those transfer spots. As looks like we're into the warm-up. Let's just see what's going on. And I believe, yeah, we are just headed straight on into a 5-minute warm-up, and then we're heading right down to the feature. So there's no consolation. I believe everyone's going to be making it through here tonight. But this is going to be an interesting one to watch indeed. Club Penguin saying, fight, fight, fight. And they're ready for a...
Ooh. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
They're ready for a redneck rodeo down there.
What's Josh Kelleher said, another tough night? I thought he was lower on the apron.
Yeah, man, this track is tough because of how different a line you can take into, you know, around this track. You can assume people are higher or lower, and it's actually vice versa for them and whatnot. So definitely got to keep your head on a swivel for your surroundings. But in the meantime, while we're here in this warm-up, getting everybody kind of back up to speed, especially if you were in that first heat, man, you've been sitting there for quite a little while. You want to get the blood flowing back to your arms. Let's go ahead and take a quick step aside to say a big thank you to some fantastic race supporters and sponsors here for the NTRL. And then when we come back, it's going to be time for an 80-lap feature race here at Bristol. And welcome back as warm-ups just finishing on up, and we've got our official feature getting ready to head out underway, and everybody getting all cycled in. And of course, so the heats were kind of like a secondary qualifying.
Oh,
So it's things getting reordered again here, and
that's fun.
here we go, heading on down onto the starting grid. And let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver is going to be starting here tonight in this feature. As we're getting things all started off with the 17-0 Chris Klein getting things started off in that first spot. To his outside will be the 35 of Nicholas Coate. 13 of Paul Durkee getting a pretty good solid start up there. Starting in third. Fourth will be the 46 of Justin Morrow. Having a good starting spot there. Same thing with the 20 of Justin Lawson running out the field starting top 5. 23 Brian Doty trying to get a good starting spot here tonight as well. Starting in 6th. 7th will go to the 7 of Tristan Cotton. The 76 of Patrick Mahaney starting to his outside there in 8th. 9th will be the 89 of Mike Adamson. And 10th is the 26 of the Iceman, Andy Sizemore. I'll continue a few more. I'll go until about 15. How about that there, Turner?
That'll work for me. Perfect.
All right. Well, then we in 11th will be Albert Anderson, America's driver, 329. Then you got Tom Wilson in that 21 machine. He got beaten up a little bit, but he's going to make it there in 12th. 13th will be the 90 of Daniel Baker, having a pretty solid starting spot in the mid pack. Same thing with the 3 of Tate Cawthorn starting there in 14th. Rounding out your top 15, though, will be the 9 of Mr. Tommy Welch.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Tracy made it in after that bad incident there. 16th, 00 Joe Bennett. 17th, number 8, Brandon Coleman will be 18th. Josh Kelleher in the 73, 19th. 31, Scott Milner, 20th. Tom Bearish in the double nickel, 21st. Number 1 of Derek Welch. He tried to wreck his way out of this thing, but he's in it. Number 1. He'll start 22nd. Tyler St. Pierre, 23rd in that 07. Charlie Herkus in the 83, 24th. And I think Matt Layton, he did have some issues, so he had to go to work. So we're going to end at 24.
And there we have it. Here's we get ready behind this pace car, getting ready to go up and underway. Again, the heats is kind of like in golf where you drive for show and putt for dough. It's definitely go time now, and we get things all started off here as that pace car dives on down into the pit road, and the green flag is out, and away we go, side by side, green flag racing as the 17/51 racing his way down out in front. The 13 and the 35 still side by side here, battling for second. Right behind them though for third and fourth is for 4th and 5th. The 46 and the 20 machine still going side by side after that green flag has dropped. Justin Morrow still riding around with Lawson there. Right behind them though, you got the 76 and the 23. Mahaney and Doty having a pretty solid race. Looks like for the meantime, the 76 machine has his nose out in front of that 23, who gets a little loose and going for a ride is a 7, but he's able to catch it down there on the apron, trying to gingerly rejoin the racetrack. Meanwhile, everyone flying around him here as we remain green flag racing. Meanwhile, up at the front, racing for the battle in front, the 35 down low with the 17 up on that high side, going side by side here.
Yeah, that's all kinds of little action here. Now we're all in the big race here. It's 80% fuel. I guess we're going to probably have to, I would guess you're going to have to stop halfway at something for fuel, maybe. Hell, I don't know. This is all an experiment here with Numb Thumbs Racing League. They're trying some different things out as the 45 is around. Was that the 45?
Oh, it's a 46 of Justin Morrow.
46.
As the caution flag comes on out.
He spun that thing just like the 46 president spins his brain around us every day. Dang it.
Oh, yeah, it looks like he just got down onto the apron, and once when that happens, man, it's difficult. Well, he was loose in the middle of the corner, able to catch it down there on the apron, but then the apron itself is getting him all mixed up and sending him on around, so a little bit of a Rough ride for Justin Mora.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, how fitting for the 46 to go around. That 46 guy, he goes around all the time and says some of the damnedest things you never heard of. But he likes ice cream. That's the main thing, you know. You got to have that guy in office that likes that ice cream.
Well, yeah, who doesn't like ice cream, man?
Yeah, I mean that's what binds us all together. Is just ice cream, you know. Ice cream and stupidity. We're a fan. Let me in. How do I get in the club? But I digress. I will be hiding out at Papa Joe's after this race if I keep talking about the number 46 and not the one in the race. So I'll tell you what, Tyler St. Pierre on my screen has a giant American flagged eagle on his bumper, so that's amazing. Love to see that. I guess we're counting caution laps during the feature. Is that correct, Brown? Or
How many what?
we're counting the caution laps?
Yes, we are counting the caution laps here in the feature here.
Nice. Definitely some like your Friday night short track. These cars are tough to handle. They got a lot of power. So getting them around this track isn't as easy as it looks.
Yes, sir. Indeed, I see. 35 machine and the fake 51, 17 Chris Klein getting things all lined up once again, side by side.
Well, hey, get this. English, he sent me a text. He's got a fan on the outside deck and a beer in his hand and a Hawaii shirt on, so he's making the best of it down there.
That's definitely good to hear as we go back to green flag racing out here. Nicholas Coate and Chris Klein having a pretty good run. Oh, Tommy Welsh. Yeah, we got ourselves a wreck there on the backstretch.
Damn. I'd like to see what happened there. It's getting a little too frisky.
I think you're right. I think maybe a little bit of a bump there from the 8 machine since the 9 on around, and then just getting collected. You see the 1 and the 00 getting magnetized. 31 getting caught up in it there as well.
Yeah, who's at the number 9? Who's in the 9 tonight?
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy with that Menards car. He was backing up, almost backed into traffic.
Yeah, not a whole lot he could do there. I got a home COVID test for you to do there, Turner.
Yeah.
So what you do is you open a can of beer and you try and smell it. If you can smell the beer, drink it to see if you can taste it.
Okay.
If you can taste it and smell it, this confirms you don't have COVID.
Yeah, I've done that like 1,800 times already tonight, so I think I'm good. I can smell it, I can taste it. It tastes amazing.
And just know, if you wake up with a headache tomorrow, you do need to retake the test tomorrow.
You sound like a doctor that I could get along with.
Man, that's
Maybe you should be a doctor.
I neither have the time nor the patience for people.
Well,
or all that schooling.
yeah, the schooling is the hard part. I mean, doctors, I love them to death. There's some really great ones, but let's just be honest. They have their own Dr. Google thing at their office. I've seen them use it before. He's got this, he's got that. He puts it into the Dr. Googler there, and then one of them Zuckerberg guys tells him what you got. Really probably Bill Gates, because he knows everything. And then they give you the medicine and you're good to go. But I love doctors. Don't kid yourself. I know they're smarter than that, but you know, I like to do like funny stuff here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody. I bang on everyone, right? Why wouldn't you? They're just like us. Just, you know, flesh and blood. We're all people. I can make fun of everybody, can't I?
Of course.
Okay, good.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, Turn.
Well, I tried to, but I've been a little worried about stuff lately.
Man.
Here we go.
Meanwhile, here we go. Once again, green flag is out. 35 with a great restart there. He's going to have the 51 of Klein giving him a big old push. 13 of Durkee trying to tuck into line there as well. Meanwhile, right behind him, the 20 and the 76 going side by side with the 89 as well as the 23 and the 26 there as well. Albert Anderson just sitting here watching this all unfold in front of him.
Albert knows what I'm talking about. Whoa, somebody got twisted right there. Eight's around. Oh, Derek Welch is wiggling. That started with the number 1, I think. He got kind of loose. I don't know how. But we may want to check that one out.
Dad, looks like you are spot on there, Mr. Turner. The one machine getting loose, and the 8 just gets checked up, and he ends up being the ham in the middle of the sandwich. 21's kind of getting squeezing him up there, and he goes for a ride there himself. And the 07 with really nowhere to go gets into the side and ramps up the 8 machine just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to call it how I see it. I think Derek Welch got on that apron, caused the accident that happened behind him. The number 8 had nowhere to go. We got squiggly there too. A little bit of short tracking.
Yeah, he was there in the middle of the corner, and the car just got loose, and it tucked him on down to that apron. And then trying to put the power down, man, he just really couldn't do anything about it. And man, just was really struggling coming out of that corner there. The struggle bus.
Yeah, he was definitely on it. That's tough, and it's like it's hard to get back to where you need to be after you dip down onto that apron. And I have raced here several times. I love it, but it's a tough track, especially if you get that front left tire or both those left tires on that apron. You are going to have a heck of a time trying to get it back straight.
Indeed, but in the meantime here, Turner, you know, we've seen a couple cautions now already. How many fast repairs again do these guys have?
Tonight they have 2. So we have 2 fast repairs, 80% fuel, and only 2 sets of tires total. So they start with 1 and they have 1 extra. Tell you what, English is keeping up with me here. He says he's asking, how am I going to cook in a power outage when they're going to outlaw my gas stove? Hashtag the more you know. So he's got a gas stove, so he's at least can light it with a cigarette lighter, you know, and get some food cooking on the skillet. That's something people don't think about. Why are we banning gas stoves to begin with? I don't understand that. It's not making any sense to me. Brown, you have any ideas?
Well, man, I got a whole bunch of ideas. Problem is, I only caught the last part of that sentence.
Oh! Well, we're talking about gas stoves over here with English. He's able to survive because he has a gas stove.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can use the cigarette lighter and light the stove even if you don't have power. Well, if in all these highfalutin states where they're trying to ban gas stoves, how are they going to cook when the power is out?
Well, it's a great question, Adam, and I refer to you to every YouTube video on how to start a fire.
Yeah, well, it's hard to start a fire if you live in an apartment or you're in some kind of urban environment.
Those things have enough asbestos to burn down an entire block.
He's with us. Oh, he's with us on the YouTube. I'll let you call it and I'll mention it.
Got his phone all plugged in and he's saying, "It's loud." I bet it is there, Mr. English. As meanwhile, the 35 and that 17/51 get things started off here. Good run, though, by the 13 of Durkee up underneath here, trying to get the run down into the corner here. So we're just a little bit past quarter of the way here through this race. Ooh, beaten and battered and bruised.
Number 1.
As the one of DW, man, just not his night. Another quick caution here.
Yeah, and they had a little miscommunication with the 83 and the 1. I don't know what really happened. We'll have to watch it. Interesting.
Let's see what happens here on this restart. Well, I'm going to say that's starting off as netcode.
All right, we'll give it the old netcode. Yeah, Derek Welch, let's just, before you get crazy and start hitting the buttons and kicking people out, that was netcode. Started with netcode anyway, right?
It at least started with netcode. And unfortunately, what the problem is, netcode will start fights, but then back out of it like a wimp, and then all mayhem comes back around anyway.
Yeah, Tracy Cotton, nice start position. Let's do this, Trister. I don't know if we talked about that. You scream, I scream. We all scream for ice cream. That's what Club Penguin was talking about. I think they understand what I was talking about with the number 46 running around with ice cream in his face and just walking in circles, And then we got Catfish Allen. That is Alan English. He's got his phone plugged into the generator. I hope it's solar English. I hope you're not having any carbon emissions out there in Louisiana. That's dangerous. Uh-oh. We have a fight. I hear some people arguing.
Ooh, tempers rising here. But that's also one of those things, at short tracks, tempers very easily getting flared on up at these places.
Yeah, it was Tom Barish, and I just forgot the other one, but hey, they didn't say anything like super ugly to each other, which I would really have approved of. But they're getting after it a little bit, kind of a little fun banter, I guess. Well, we're 28 in. We've had 85 cautions. We're going to get there. Oh, that iRacing did that thing it likes to do to me, where it kicks me right out of the race. To join back up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky.
Yeah, it's probably didn't like what I'm talking about. I've been doing some current events.
Meanwhile, the pace car comes back on down as everything gets all re-racked and stacked. Another solid restart up at the front as the 35 and the 13 start things side by side, but then the 51, Chris Klein, makes his way down underneath, steals that second spot away. Oh, as here we go. This one's going to be a big one because it's happening up at the front. Ooh, we got absolute chaos down there.
I did not get to see that because I am locked out of it at the moment.
And it had some issues that stems from some of the racing going on up at the front. Let me head on back to do a replay here when the yellow flag officially came out. Gonna replay this thing. And started with, gotta find his name. I believe it was Paul Durkee.
Ooh, oh, Dickie, I'm back in here. I'm interested to see what you got, what you're showing us.
Again, oh, there's his name. It took me a while to find Paul's name in our list. Gets a little tap from behind from the 89, sends the 13 all around, and then down on the bottom you can see the 20 of Justin Lawson. Just, man, getting pile driven here in traffic all over the place. Justin Morrow in it. Looks like the 26 machine getting snagged up in it. 31, 83, 7. Whole bunch of people getting all snagged up in that.
What is causing all the cautions here tonight? Is it just how tough these cars are to drive?
Man, it definitely could be. These cars have about a gajillion horsepower and absolutely no weight on that rear end. And
Yeah, they're built like what we call a doorstop, or English does, where the tail end of it's just lifted so far off the ground. So the weight distribution is a little different on these cars. A lot of heavy front end and super amount of horsepower. Marbles are still up top too, and growing.
yes, sirree, indeed. As we get ready, Alan English's alternative power source is not Greta Thunberg approved.
Greta Thunberg. That's a made up person. You know that, right? That's a plant from the three-lettered service that starts with a C and ends with an I. That's not a real human being. That person there. That the whole thing's a con. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her, English. Don't listen to her. I don't know if it's a her. I don't know what it is. It's a problem. I know that.
How is it a problem? Just don't listen to her.
Well, everybody does. People are stupid. The lemmings are out there. It's the sheeple. We got to get out of this mentality of listening to this garbage that they throw at us. It's all propaganda, you know? iRacing is not, though. This is the one place where we tell the truth.
The sheeple, as we're getting ready to go back to halfway here with the 35 and that 51 out in front. A good restart there by the 35 machine. 17 of Brian Doty. The fake 17 of Brian Doty staying up there, while the actual 17 of Chris Klein in the 51 continues to get a good run. Albert Anderson up here inside that top four as well, trying to tuck into line. He's got the 7 Tristan Cotton hanging around up there as well. You got the 73 Josh Keller going side by side with the original Florida man, 00 Joe Bennett. Some good battles being had out there. Meanwhile, with Brandon Coleman there. Tom Wilson getting a little loosey-goosey as well as he moves up underneath the 83 of Charlie Hergus, able to get the run there. You can see the 20 of Lawson now trying to move up underneath that 89 of Mike Adamson and follow the 1 of DW around, even though DW is a couple laps down, trying to race his way on back. Oh man, Herkus is having a real problem up there against those marbles, trying to keep that thing steady.
Yeah, he's definitely having some issues getting past, and it happens. He might not be comfortable in that car. He might not be comfortable with this track, or he's got damage. We don't know. Ooh, the 7's around.
Oh, Tristan Cotton sideways and backwards against the outside wall there.
Yeah, he got turned and learnt there by that looked like the number 9.
Oh, yes, he did. It looked like the 9 kind of running up against that outside wall, maybe trying to correct, was coming down off the corner, maybe getting a little loose here. Let's go ahead and kind of see. Yeah, oh yeah, he was drifting out of the corner there, and I think that was turns 1 and 2. and just to avoid hitting the wall, just adds that little bit of extra steering. And you know what happens when you do that, man? The car just snaps right back down the track, and he gets just barely into that back corner panel of the 7 machine, sending the 7 on backwards.
Man, I like to see mayhem, but there's quite a bit of mayhem here tonight. I'm wondering. I'm gonna look where we're at next week. Maybe somebody's gonna get some retribution. You know, I like to see payback for some stuff where people think they're wronged.
Well, you still even haven't gotten payback from Pocono yet, so.
Well, I get it all the time when I get to yell at the English on the TV and let everybody know what a terrible teammate he was. So I feel like that's kind of retribution when I get to do that. So, I mean, he won that day, even though we were teammates and he adored me. But now I get to tell the story over and over again.
Well, that is true.
And next week, I think we're in. Where the hell is Langley? And what is that? Or is that? It sounds like an Air Force base. I think we're at Langley next week. Do you know anything about that track?
Where are we at, Langley?
Yeah, Langley.
I don't know anything about that track. I know it is a track here on iRacing, and that's the extent of.
Yeah, we got our act together tonight, don't we? Really need English to kind of keep us straightened out. Missing the guy. Cars are very powerful. You can hear them. What is that? The 76. That is a cool paint job. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Really enjoyed that paint scheme. Patrick Mahaney. He's got, looks like 1976, kind of like the bicentennial paint as far as the number. Pretty neat.
And that 76 machine.
Yeah, and he's got the Davidson builders. I think. What is that on the side?
Yeah, got Davidson builders there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cool.
And he's got the 3 machine down underneath him right now. Meanwhile, as we get ready to go back to the green flag for however long this run's gonna be, we got the 35 and 17 side by side. And off we go. Another great start here for that 35. I think we've had enough caution laps by now here, English. I don't know if these guys are gonna have to pit for fuel. I think everyone's gonna be a-okay on that front of things. So, oh my goodness.
31.
Oh, goodness gracious. The 8 machine getting plowed over as well. We had some carnage on that one there.
Yeah, we sure did. The carnage before that was you called me English, so we're going to have problems. We'll have a talk.
Oh, did I say English?
Yeah, you called me English.
Man, I'm so used to having him right sitting beside me, you know.
I know.
It's tough. It's tough.
There's so much happening here with all this crashing going on.
I know. 31 and the 8 just, yeah, man, bumpers fusing together there and causing a big set of chaos down there on the front stretch. But meanwhile, while we try to get things all reorganized and everybody back up to speed, we're gonna step aside here real quick because I gotta go stop my basement from flooding, and we'll be right back. And welcome back as we've got about 29 laps remaining here from this race at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Dumb Thumbs Racing League late model series, getting everybody all regrouped and back together. Don't worry, basement crisis is averted. The sump pump, you know how it's got like one of those balloon plunger things that like trips it?
Yeah.
We have hard water up here. We got very hard water up here, so
Oh,
it's kind of
yeah,
corroded.
yeah.
So it got stuck on the like bracket that it holds it, so it like slides straight up and down. So it's just bang that, scrub it out real quick, and
You got to fiddle with it, and then I like to watch the YouTube videos these guys fix and everything. That helps me when I have to. I got to fix damn near everything around here, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I just go to the YouTube machine and check it out.
which, welcome to our YouTube machine where we ask you to
Yeah.
politely, if you would subscribe and ring that notification bell as we ring the bell here once again with the green flag waving. 35 and the 23/17 heading on up and through with the 17 fake 17 of Chris Klein as well. We got so many fake numbers up here, this is confusing me. You got great racing going on here. You also got Albert Anderson still hunting around there in fourth. 9 Tommy Welsh in the 33 Ben Tracy. Haven't seen Ben Tracy at the front of one of these things till he got absolutely brutalized by DW there in the first heat, but he's slowly working his magic on up as we got everybody ping-ponging against the outside wall. 55 Tom Bears on the 13 Paul Durkee having a tough fight. 26 Andy Sizemore there as well, as here goes the 89 side by side with, I believe that's the 45. Oh no, that's the 46 of Justin Morrow, the 8 of Brian Coleman there as well, going side by side.
Yeah, let's get some good racing in here. We can click off laps fast if we want to here, because it's only it takes like 12 seconds to get around this thing.
Yeah, 15 seconds to do a complete lap around here at Bristol in these cars, and I mean that's pretty much averaging right around 120 miles an hour the entire way. So I mean, it's not like these guys are hitting the brakes going into these corners either, Adam. They're just pretty much just lifting, getting off enough of the power to get the car rotated, and then right back onto it.
Yeah, and you're at this point in these cars, you're kind of turning with that gas pedal too, aren't you? I mean, you got a lot going on. Not only the wheel, the gas pedal, and the brake pedal, and all that's involved.
Man, I couldn't tell you. I haven't done enough racing in these things to officially say, but that sounds smart, so I'm going to assume that is true. Meanwhile, the 9 and the 23 continued to battle side by side right in front of 00 Joe Bennett here. Meanwhile, Albert Anderson able to make his way clean on through. It's a 3-car break up here up at the front. Meanwhile, still chaos happening throughout this field. Tommy Welch, Brian Doty, Justin Lawson, 00 Joe Bennett, Ben Tracy all lurking around in a group. You also got some great racing going on here. You got Patrick Mahaney and Tom Wilson. Even though they're laps down, they're having a great race against each other here.
Oh, Michael Adams.
Oh, and there goes the 45.
Oh, man.
And by 45, I mean 46.
It looks like the 45. Oh, now he's on his side.
Now he's on his side. He's turtled. Oh, don't go that way. Don't go that way.
Somebody knock him back over. Oh, the 3 just hit the... What in the hell is happening out here?
Oh, and I think
I think
46 and Morrow had to tow. Oh, gosh.
What did the 3 do? He looked like he just slammed it.
I think he was trying to spin around, but
couldn't catch a grip.
Could never get it. It's man, the 46 going on around, just getting tagged up in it, and then the 7 just really nowhere to go. Kind of like in the old-fashioned ARCA cars, just ramp them on up, and then see the 3 there just floor it, but he floored it right into the pit wall. Oh goodness,
that was so crazy. But oh man, the 46. He looks like the 45, but he's not the 45. Kind of like the real 46. He didn't look like the 45, but the 46 in real life likes ice cream He likes to sniff hair, and he likes to scream out things that don't even you can't even tell what's going on with it. You don't unintelligible. Let's put it that way. But the 46 here tonight has had a rough one.
Man, you are not kidding. Not only does he get flipped, but he was in one of the most like easy to reflip back over positions, and no one was willing to give him that extra bump.
I know. I was thinking somebody would come over and they're just knocking back over and right side him, because he could have kept driving.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have one of us flipped and it's just like, can I get a hand? Sure.
Yeah.
And then it's English and he's coming around at Mach 7 and sends you to the moon.
Just destroys you.
When all you needed was a little bump.
Yeah, just a tap. Anybody could have done that for him, but he'll remember that. He'll remember the fact they didn't turn him back over at Bristol. He'll have a story next time he takes somebody out.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Well, meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a quick look ahead and see what's up this rest of the weekend. So Sunday, we will have some great racing coming from, I believe it's going to be iRacing Super Speedway, unless they changed it. I think there were talks they might have changed it, but at the same time they may not. But iRacing Super Speedway for the Super Speedway series here at Numb Thumbs Racing League. That track is absolutely chaotic.
Well, I love it. I mean, I like to watch it. I mean, they're probably going to be they're in the trucks, right? So
No, they're in the Gen 6 cars.
the Gen 6. Oh, yeah, they'll probably be doing 215, 220.
Oh,
Hell, 240 on the straights.
I was going to say, probably holding right around 230, 240.
Yeah, on the straights, and then you can even hit those corners super fast, but how it pushes you up the track, and what is that? Is it 1 and 3 where the dips are in the?
Yeah.
It's 1 and 3. Makes for some super interesting, fun racing. You better have several fast repairs, or you're not going to have any cars left.
And that one will be a rough and wild ride. For sure. Speaking of a rough and wild ride, we've only got about 12 laps to go as the pace car dives back on down into the pit lane. 35 of Coat and the fake 17 of Chris Klein getting all things fired on up. 329 Albert Anderson there as well as the green flag drops. And away we go down through turns 1 and 2. Another great restart for the 35 of Coat. Anderson slipping on through, sliding up into second. Doty finding his way down there into fourth as Chris Klein in the 17 slides his way up.
73.
And we got ourselves another caution.
Yeah, Josh Kelleher got involved in that one. And I don't know how that happened, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that we will. Oh!
Oh, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
What was that?
That was violence.
Yeah, the 76 was like he got turned by the 26, which just turned him right into the 73.
Oh, and that, you know what? That one started off with some net code as well.
Of course it did. Davidson Builders is having a hard night there in that 76 machine.
Oh man, you ain't kidding. It's the 76. Whew. Hit that wall with probably 30 G's. But Haney tumbles down that stretch there. I think they were going to make contact eventually anyway there, Adam, but it did officially start as netcode.
Yeah. Netcode is an interesting thing. If English was here, I'd ask him to tell the folks at home, explain to the folks at home what netcode is. So since he's not here, I think most people who are watching with us tonight, they probably know what it is, but it's basically some kind of thing with the car's computer hitbox. It kind of anticipates crashes, maybe, would you say it? And can simulate a crash before it looks like the cars are together just because the computer system stuff. You're talking about like 25 cars on a super short track, and every one of these guys data and information has to go to Boston, where the servers are, and back to their house. So there's a lot going on here with the computer stuff. I'm no computer whiz, Brown, but that's kind of like layman's term stuff, right?
Something. I don't even know.
You didn't listen.
I just push
You didn't
buttons.
listen.
No, I did actually listen. I just don't know anything about computers.
I don't either. But your information, as you're driving, you're inputting that stuff into the wheel. It heads to Boston, comes back to you. It's put onto the, interwebs, along with everybody else's stuff. So there's a lot going on. It's very technical, and none of us here are the genius wizards enough to know exactly how it works, but it can create netcode.
Yeah, that's pretty much nailed it. I really can't really say too much about it. That's more of like connection and ping, and yet the server also has to, because it's live and has to send all this information to each client, which is the person behind each of these actual cars, their actual houses and their computers, and then send that data back to the server. It has to make assumptions about where cars are and what contact is made and all that, and that's where your netcode really comes from. But either way, 7 laps to go as they come back across the line. 6 now as the 35 gets a good start. Up on that outside, though, it's been an absolute killer of a sentence for those drivers. 329 Anderson losing a couple of spots there early. As, oh man, here comes Chris Klein and Tommy Welsh trying to filter his way on up and through. Paul Durkee still lurking around there as well. 5 laps to go now. Everybody racing and braking, trying to get to whatever spot that they can here in these closing moments. You got the 33 and the 23 having some side-by-side action here, as well as the 89. Oh, as the 17 was spinning around, he's still got to be straight. He's just going to be up against the wall. Oh, and people checking up, and we got one spinning on down on the apron there. It looks like that's the 7, the 07 of Tyler St. Pierre, and that's going to bring out the caution, which means we're going into bonus action here tonight.
It was like 2 different cautions, or 2 different crashes happening at once. The first one, whoever it was, held it into the wall gracefully. And the second one, I don't know what happened with that one.
Yeah, that was 17 Doty.
The Clyde Torkel Chicken Pit Special.
Yeah, he got loose and got down into Adamson and then bounced off of Adamson back up into the wall. The problem was, and this is where the actual caution came out, they were kind of almost going 3 wide between the 07, the 7, and I believe that's the 73, kind of like in a staggered formation, and people are trying to check up and head on down low, and the 07 just comes back across the bumper there and goes for a spin.
Yeah, Clyde Torkel. He was not the best team owner, if anybody remembers that. He was kind of mean, so Burt Reynolds dressed up like a chicken, got in that Thunderbird, Ford Thunderbird. That's what they were racing back then. There's some good times in that movie. But Doty, driving that Clyde Torkel Chicken Pit Special, had some issues. All right, what do you think's going to happen here?
Man, I don't know. I was just saying that as Trace Cotton saying, "Come on, Trister, you can get back on up there." No, it's the
he's not in a bad spot. He's in the
top 10. Yeah, he's still sitting on up there. Should definitely be a good, interesting restart. But man, it's going to be tough. I don't know if we're going to use all of our green white checkers available to us here in all these restarts. It kind of all depends on how quickly people get settled in, and I mean, from what I've seen here tonight, that's gonna be difficult. But how about that 35 Nicholas Coate starting in second, immediately taking over the lead in the first couple of laps when this feature started, And man, after every restart thus far, he has not looked back.
Well, that's where you want to be if you're driving as well as he is. You want to see all those problems in your rearview mirror. You don't want to see anything out in front of you. And luckily, they haven't had enough green flag laps for him to have to get into any lap traffic or anything. For the most part, he's had that front end open and free, so he's done a good job tonight, as of all those guys up front. But Albert Anderson is up 7-8 spots. That's interesting to see how he ends up. I don't know. I just hope we do not have another green-white caution. How about that? That's my hope.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be a fight as the pace car comes on down into pit lane. Means it's time to buckle up, strap on those drinking helmets, throw inhibition out the window. Green white checker racing here to finish tonight on off. 35 getting a good restart there with a 3-9 Anderson tucking in right behind him. The fake 51, 17 of Chris Klein trying to get a drive around on that outside.
Whoa.
Oh, and we're not going to make it to the line. We're going to re-rack
13.
and stack it here once again.
13 got turned. Was that? Let's rewatch that. I don't know who did it, but is that 13 Paul Durkee? I don't know. Let's see.
Yes, it is. Oh, he was coming down the track and looked like the 33 just really nowhere to go. Just wasn't much room there. And of course, green white checker, I'm not going to be lifting for nobody either. And since the 19 around, 33 goes around as well. The one getting involved there late. Same thing with the 9, 73 getting tagged up in it as well.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, tough night for these drivers here tonight.
Tough night for the broadcasters. We're missing our key ingredient, Alan English. He had got hit by a tree. His house did anyway. He's okay. Everything's okay, but he lost his power, and everybody's having like a little rough Friday night, And I also got hit with hail over here, Brown. I don't know if I told you. I think I told you, but yeah, my roof got demolished last night with a big old hailstones. There, got the camper. I mean, this village out here just got destroyed with hail. So it's been a rough 24 hours.
Yeah, that it definitely has, and it's not going to get much better here either. It's I think even Sunday might have some more severe stuff heading on. It's just kind of that weird pattern, and I'm just
called the pattern of heat. And then once you heat that ground, you heat all this water up and all this crap, and then it turns into storms and gets crazy, man.
Oh yeah, isn't it got? I think this weekend it's gonna be 115 down in Corpus Christi or something like that.
Oh, it's 110 in Houston this like today. All my people down there in Houston, H-Town. I'm glad I'm not in it at the moment, but it is hot, and it's not really global warming or anything. It's called this shit happens, I mean, it just gets hot. We have normal climate change. It's been going on forever. When I was a kid, they told us we're going to have another ice age and we're all going to freeze to death, So don't believe any of that crap that Greta Thunberg spews on you. We're just it's called, regular stuff that happens. It's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. And right now we're just in a hot cycle.
Yeah, we're definitely in a hot cycle. For certain here as the pace car comes back on down. Attempt number 2 at this green-white checker. Here's the 35 and the 329. Get things kicked on off. The 20 coming up, giving a little bump to Anderson there, trying to get him back up to speed as we go back to that green flag. The 17, Chris Klein trying to tuck into line behind the 35, making their way down into turns 3 and 4. Are we going to make it this go around as Double O Joe slips underneath that 329 of Anderson here as well? Yes, we will. So here we go. Final lap of the race here tonight with Chris Klein breaking out to the outside, trying to find whatever room he can to get a run. Now moving on down low, down into turns 3 and 4. Will not be enough. Nicholas Coate picking up the win. Anderson able to hold off Double O Joe for the third place spot.
Well, he was happy about that. I heard him on the radio. Good race by all those guys up front. Coate, Klein, Alverson, Double O Joe, Justin Lawson, Coleman, Welch, Mike Adamson, Tom Wilson, Brian Doty is what is shown on my screen in the top 10.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a solid race by some of these guys. Again, we'll just have to ask them exactly what the fuel situation was, because just some drivers just not coming on down at all. I mean, Anderson, he stayed out of trouble, didn't come on down. Chris Klein pretty much stayed out of trouble. Same thing with Nicholas Coate, and those are your top three. They're not coming on down into the pits. Tom Barish and the 55 machine didn't come on down to pit at all either, just finishing outside of that top 10.
Yeah. Man. A lot of people had some bad things happen to them as far as race car driving, you know. In reality, it's just a race, but sure they didn't enjoy some of the stuff that happened out there tonight. Quite a few cautions for what I anticipated, Brown. I thought we were going to have a really clean race. Bristol is fast, but I think these cars are just too much to handle here.
Mate, I don't know. It's so tough to tell, and I mean nothing about iRacing is ever so easy. But talk about a guy that was starting to make it look a little easy down there. Let's go ahead and get some of these interviews up underway, and we get things started off with tonight's third place finisher and America's driver, 329 of America's driver, Albert Anderson, picking up the solid podium spot here. Albert, it was a little bit of a rough go of it. Looked like some people were really struggling out there here tonight, but you kept things clean. Even in the heat race, you kind of knew that, man, just fourth place makes me on through, gets me a good starting spot, so that's where you sat there. And then here tonight, you just moved your way on up forward, not having to come on into the pits for any fuel, and look at that, you find yourself up there on that podium.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. Yeah, it was a good race, man. It was a good night. For the most part, it was clean up front. You know, we were really getting after it. Chris Klein and I raced really, really well together. And we give each other plenty of room. And we race each other hard, but we give each other plenty of room. He's a top shelf guy. And a lot of fun tonight. Congratulations to Nicholas for winning it.
Yeah, up front, I think was the place to be. We did see all these crazy issues really happen in the back, and if y'all were up front, it kind of made your life a little easier, what it seemed like. Give you a couple things. Next week, we're going to Langley. I don't know what kind of Army base, Air Force base that is, but I think that's where we're headed. And you have any shout-outs and anything to say to Alan English? The poor guy had the tree hit his house down there in Louisiana, so he's out of power. He's okay. Everybody's okay, but he's got some issues out there. Maybe you can give him some well wishes or something.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. I hate hearing that for Alan. I hope he's okay and his family's okay. He said they were, and the property can be fixed, but not body. So I'm gonna say a prayer for Alan for sure, and keep my fingers crossed that they get the place fixed back up and get all squared away. I want to thank my the people who come out and support me. My family, All Star Racing. We put together one heck of a team this season throughout the course of a couple of different leagues that we run in. Myself, Jeremiah Burke, Dylan Bryant, Larry Dickerson, Mike Adamson runs with us over at NTRL. He's an important part of the team. And I thank Derek Welch for putting the race on. Derek does a bang-up job across all of his leagues. I really enjoy racing over here. and Ricky Wittenberg, D&D Race Graphics. He's put together some really good paint schemes for us. D&D Race Graphics, who's a big sponsor over here for NTRL and all of his other sponsors. Thank all of them for sponsoring NTRL, and thank you guys up in the booth. You guys always do a bang up job.
Awesome. Thanks, Albert, man. And congratulations on the third place finish here tonight, man. Congratulations. Have yourself a good weekend. And we'll see you guys back out here in action soon enough there, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
With that, we'll move on up to tonight's second place finisher, a guy who started on the pole and traded spots but stayed up to the front nonetheless, Mr. Chris Klein, with a solid run here tonight in second, man. Congratulations, and it definitely looked like staying up at the front is what's going to get you the good finish here. Is man, once when you guys were up there, you really never looked back and let it go.
Yeah, I was scared of a long green flag run, that's for sure. I wasn't the fastest in practice by a long stretch, and got lucky in the heat race with that incident that started me on pole. And before we even took the green flag, I told Paul that started behind me in third. I was like, Paul, just be patient with me. I'm slow. And luckily we didn't have a long enough run for that to show through, and was able to keep it up front all night and pretty much just keep it out of trouble.
Well, if you were slow was fast here in this instance. Being up front really helped y'all out. A lot of the stuff that happened was behind you, which really worked in y'all's advantage. Who would you like to thank and give some shout outs to?
Yeah, so I hope it showed up on your side, but we went with a new paint. DEP got this done for me this week. We have my uncle's business on the hood of the car. It's AAA Blinds out of Naples, Florida. They're one of the top distributors of Hunter Douglas blinds. Very high-end window treatments. His wife, my aunt, and my mother are both fighting breast cancer. So we have on the deck lid a fighting with them. And then their son, my cousin, his mother-in-law passed away from her battle with cancer. And we've got her name on there as well. Just rooting for them to come through. My mom's actually in remission right now, and then my aunt's just started her treatments, and so we're battling for them and fighting with them, and just huge shout out to them. Big thanks to you guys for the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch these, and it's fun for our families who live all over the place to be able to jump in and watch these every once in a while and get to see what we're doing to have fun and see that how we're supporting them with some of our paint schemes. Thank Derek and the whole crew over at NTRL for putting these on. It's a lot of work to put these series on, and this one's free. So we really appreciate all they do over there, and all the league sponsors, Martin Sports, DP Graphics, Admin Box. I can't even think of all of them that contribute to the series. We're very grateful for all they do for us.
Yes, sir. Is down there with a fantastic run, finishing tonight in second place, 17 of Chris Klein. Man, congratulations on the great finish here tonight, and good luck coming up with the rest of the races upcoming there, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. I do see his paint. That is cool. AAA blinds, shutters. I mean, we're AAA. Got to support the other AAAs.
Always got to support the AAAs. And speaking of giving some support, how about some support for the 35 of Nicholas Coate, your race winner up here, getting a fantastic jump on the first restart, able to steal that first position away and never looking on back. Nick, congratulations on picking up that race win, man. I know it was definitely hard fought. You had to keep your focus, especially on those restarts, man, because it looked like if you lost at least one position, you were going to probably lose a few.
Yeah, the key to that race was getting by Chris right as the caution came out that first time. If I didn't get him then, I don't think I could have gotten him the entire race, just because we didn't get a run long enough, more than like 5 to 10 laps the entire race.
Well, the key was being up front, and you were up front, and you stayed up front. So good job. Who would you like to have give some shout outs to?
Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast every single week, and Derek and everyone at Numb Thumbs for putting on the league. It's a fun league. Fun car to drive.
Yeah, and I mean it's been fun to watch. I know tonight was a little bit of a rough night on out there, but you know, sometimes that just happens with short track racing, and especially here under the lights, man. But either way, congratulations there, Mr. Nicholas Coate there in the 35, getting the race win here tonight at Bristol. Go ahead, go celebrate it, man, and we'll see you back out here in action pretty soon there, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. With that, that's going to close out the action here tonight there, Adam. And it was a little bit ugly, and you know, that stuff's just gonna happen. But man, it was a solid Friday night nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best race. It wasn't the worst race. It was a race, and we all came together and had fun. So I think it was good enough to enjoy your Friday with. Now let's get on to the rest of it. Next week we'll have a lot of races, so we'll be looking forward to more races and all that stuff. Every race is different, and this one was definitely different.
And that indeed. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do our official field rundown, where we get to tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing here tonight. Starting things off is that 35 of Nick Coate, getting that win, big time win here at Bristol. You got the 17 of Chris Klein finishing here tonight in second, and the 329 of Albert Anderson rounding out that podium. Up 13 spots and looking like your hard charger here of the day, 00 Joe Bennett sitting there in fourth, having a pretty good night. The 20 of Justin Lawson finishes right where he started there in fifth. You got the 8 of Brandon Coleman up 12 positions, having a pretty solid night, finish in sixth. With the 9 of Tommy Welsh, he's going to have a pretty solid top 10 finish here tonight in seventh. Mike Adamson in the 89 machine looked like he could have been a contender here, but got caught up in some stuff, but still a solid 8th place run there for him. 21 to Tom Wilson, solid top 10 as well, finishing in 9th. With the 23, Brian Doty having one heck of a run to round out your top 10. Meanwhile, you also got the double nickel of Tom Barish up 10 spots in 11th. The 33, Mr. Ben Tracy. Man, he just had a rough go of it all the way around. Had a fantastic 14 laps in his heat, but then come lap 15, running into an issue there with DW, and drops him back, and then he's got some issues here in the feature as well, but he finishes in 12th. 73, Josh Kelleher, he got beaten, battered, and bruised. He was able to walk away, though, in 13th. The one of said DW having a rough go of it here tonight, able to find himself up into 14th, with the 31 of Scott Milner rounding out tonight's top 15.
All right. Well, iRacing has different.
Everything's all messed up yet.
I'm going to go with the SDK. I'm going to stay with what you had. And the official race results will be on iRacing. So this is what our scoring is showing, and we'll just go with that. 16th would show 83 Charlie Herkis. 17th, the 07 Tyler St. Pierre. 18th, Paul Durkee in that 13 machine. Tristan Cotton, 19th in the 7. 20th, Andy Sizemore. I think it's the Iceman or something like that. He's showing to be 20th. 21st, Patrick Mahaney. 22nd, Justin Morrow. 23rd, Tate Cawthorn. Then, we got down here Baker and Layton and Holmberg and James Lee. James Lee didn't grid. Holmberg didn't grid. Layton had some issues, and I think Baker might have done one of the heat races, but didn't participate in the finale. So it's not official, unofficial, but that's the end of that.
That it is. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching. Your support is the reason why we keep on doing this and having a good time of doing it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and that way we can continue to get alerted every time that we go live, so you don't miss a single second of the race in action. Of course, if you do enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button, so that way we can continue to grow this fantastic community. Of course, we also have to say a huge thank you to tonight's race sponsors of DEP Graphics, Sim Gear Central, Trek Bar Media, Martin Sports, and of course Davidson Builders there as well. We thank you all for your fantastic support here at the NTRL. So with that, that closes out tonight's action here on this Friday evening. We look forward to seeing y'all out here on Sunday at the Thunderdome, apparently, as now I'm getting the thunderstorms. Goodness gracious, it's all going around. As we head on down there to iRace and Super Speedway, and we should be in store for a fantastic race on Sunday night. But until then, for fake Alan English and real Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown. We're signing off.
See ya.